What's going on, everybody? It's Chris here from Friendly Frenzy Games, back with some Escape Simulator content for the first time in a long time because they just released some new paid DLC. It's a series of spy-themed rooms, which is really cool, and this is just a quick walkthrough and puzzle explanation for Agency Headquarters, which is the first map of the new DLC. So let's get into it. As you can see here, obviously we're just starting off in an agency boardroom kind of thing here. Really what the first puzzle is just this here. And how you're going to need to read it is just using our series of clocks here. So it's a little weird. There's, it looks like really only 4 circles. There's actually 8 with the little shadows here. And really what we're trying to do is recreate this pattern using these 8 clocks here. So what that's going to look like is you can see here that there's basically a 12, a 6, so we can go ahead and set that up here on our first clock, and I'll show you. It's a little hard to explain, but it'll make sense after I show you here. So here's our 12 and 6 on the first clock. Now the next one here is going to be basically the same positioning here. So we're gonna need a 6 and a 7 to kind of give us this angle here. So there's our 6, there's our 7, and now that's gonna basically complete this top section here. We'll do the ones underneath too, just because it makes a little bit more sense that way. So we're going to do our 12 and 1, which it's set up at 12 and 2 right now. We can go ahead, 12 and 1 right there. So there is this piece right here, this little triangle, and now we're again going to go through and do a 12 to 6 here on this one. So there's our 12 to 6, and again you can kind of line it up with the axis that they've got drawn out here. You can see it's like right in the middle of the circles there, supposedly representing each different clock face. So that's kind of how it makes sense there. We're going to go through now. We'll do the other set of circles here. So again, here's our 9 and here is our 3 for both sets of clock faces here. So we'll go ahead and set that up. 9, 3, 9, 3, and then we have 12 and 6 and 12 and 6 for the last set of clocks. So you're just going to want to drag this one from double 12 there, and then we'll do 12 to 6 here. Beautiful. Now what that's obviously going to do is you can kind of make a guess at what these numbers are here using the little windows that are underneath. So best guess, this is a 7, a 9, a 2, and a 5. Where you're going to need to put that in is just behind us here at the history wing keypad. So I think I said 7, 9, 2, 5, and we are in here now. So a couple of different things going on in this room, but where you're really going to want to start is just with this pamphlet here. So basically what this is William Boyle, the man of many faces, and talking about his disguises. In behind us here in this encasement is William Boyle himself, or a mannequin of him anyways, in disguise. So what we're going to need to do is basically use this pamphlet to recreate the description here. I thought initially that you're going to need to kind of figure out which one of these makes the most sense, but really what we need to do is use these as reference points so that we can kind of deduce what information we need to put together this picture. So where you're going to get these pieces for William Boyle, first we have his beard in the cabinet behind us. We have his glasses just on the top of the dresser here, or the cabinet. And then we have his hat just right in that back main room where we started. Okay, so now that we've got the 3 pieces, we can go ahead, we can open up our pamphlet. So again, because I said we're looking at filling out this description here and creating this picture, it just says, to avoid detection, William Boyle mixed and matched disguises from different periods. He wore eccentric glasses with tinted lenses. So let's start there. We know we have glasses. So we can go through here. We have traditionalist, we have modernist, we have futurist. Right here it says exotic and head turning, worn only by the most eccentric individuals. So we know here that we're looking for futuristic, or the futurist version of William Boyle, and we're talking specifically about his glasses. So we can pull the glasses up as a clue, but we're going to need to make them eccentric here. So go ahead, click this middle button to fully extend them, and then we can cut them in half by clicking the middle button again. And then again too, we can see that they're clear here right now. They have clear lenses. We want to hit this tint button on the side, and that will tint them black. Go ahead, equip the mannequin, and that is our first piece. Next part here is his hat's brim was of a traditional style. So we can look here, traditional style. Obviously, we're looking at traditionalist, and the brim, so just the rim around the hat here. So we can go ahead and set that up. The brim is just the first button. You can see that it goes and adds a curvature to the brim there, so we're all set. There's a little bit more here though. So it says its crown was in fashion during the time when people preferred shorter beards. So we can see the shortest of the three beards here is the modernist, and it's talking about the crown being in fashion during the time where people preferred shorter beards. So we know that it's not going to be a flat top, it's going to be curved up top here. So just go ahead, we're going to want to hit this third button once, and you can see that it went from flat to a curvature there. We'll go ahead, we will set that up and move on to our beard. So the futurist, so he styled his facial hair to match the hat's brim. So again, we are looking at traditionalist because we took the styling of his brim from the traditionalist. So this is what we're looking to recreate when we mess with the beard there. It's also talking about choosing a color that makes him look older. Obviously, all the ones here are brown, but if you actually go through and look to customize the beard here, we have white and we have brown. So because we're looking for a color to make him look older, we only have two options. We're going to keep with the white, and then again too, we are going to just click the left button one time, and it is going to give us the longer facial hair. And go ahead, equip that, and that will give us our Kryptos key. So I'm going to just, in true old school fashion, just use or discard all of the clues that I don't need anymore. And we now have the Kryptos key. So to use this now, we need to unlock this glass encasement, grab the Kryptos cube, and we can examine it. Just drag and drop the answer key that we got from the last puzzle. And then we can run it over to this first terminal. So what we're looking to do now is complete this first input, and we have this keypad here. So we're just basically going through and trying to find the highlighted symbol for each of the four sides. So we'll go ahead, we can input this T real quick. So just right there. Go ahead and look for the Z here, right there. Examine this again, and we're looking for a large square attached to a smaller square right there. And our last one here is an L with a square in it. So just right there. Okay, so now we've completed this first part of the puzzle. We need to grab the level 1 access key now. And where you go for that, and just drag this chair out of the way, is just actually the terminal in behind here. Got to go through, click to turn the computer on, and then what we need to do now is basically figure out, using this image here, it says to deduce information from the scene, we can confirm after selecting answers. So what we want to do is just extend this, and we have three options first. So we have to determine the district. So it's either farming, financial, or industrial. It looks pretty civilized here. Obviously, there's no real farmland, and it doesn't really look like, because there's city streets and stuff, it shouldn't really be industrial. So go ahead, select financial there. The season, again, we can go in. There's some snowmen, and it looks like snow, so we can pretty much assume that this is a winter image. Time of day, there's 8 a.m., 8 p.m., and 2 a.m. Now, I don't know where you guys are, but it's pretty dark for me in the winter, especially first thing in the morning. Here, obviously there's a right option, but you can kind of go through and 8 p.m. initially made the most sense to me because I thought it would maybe be a little darker, but again, it might not be the right answer everywhere. But really what we're looking for here is 2 a.m. So first thing in the morning will give us the darkest imagery here. Current weather, we can figure out just by looking at the flags here that it's a pretty windy day. You can see there's some movement to them. That's the only real thing to deduce. Obviously, they aren't drooping to indicate that there's no wind, there's no rain or any other like snowstorms to indicate that they would be stormy weather. So we can go ahead and choose windy here. Public transport, all we're doing is looking for, obviously there's no vehicles on the street, but there are indicators of bus lanes. So we can go ahead and just choose bus. And then lastly, in proximity to mountain, sea, or factory. And you can just see kind of in the distance there some rippling of the water. I guess that would be another good indicator of whether or not it's windy, still, or stormy. But you can see that there's the rippling of the waves there. So we'll go ahead and choose C and then click confirm. And now we've passed the agency clearance test and we have our access level 1 card. So we'll go ahead, put it in the hard drive here, or the disk drive. And now we have a mission simulator, an infiltration mission simulator. So basically what we have to do here, we've got a little legend of symbols and we have to match them up with the action that we would take along each step here. So the first one says to enter the country with a fake identity. I looked at that either as disguise or sneak, ultimately chose disguise. Sneak into the base, that's pretty obvious that we're going to just go ahead and choose sneak here. Adopt identity of janitor to reach the headquarters. Again, looking to do a disguise here. When I did this initially, I wasn't sure if you could actually use the same symbol twice, but it definitely turns out that you can. Number 4 is study guard patrol routes around the secure room. So that would be obviously surveillance, because we are going to be monitoring actions. Number 5, extract the redacted, whatever that is, from encrypted laptop in the secure room. So again, we can go through. That'll obviously be the tech component of this plan. Number 6, escape without detection when the alarm goes off. So again, we're going to sneak out because we're trying to avoid detection. So disguise, sneak, disguise, surveillance, tech, and sneak. Go through, we can confirm that. And we now have the mission simulator infiltration. The next part of this says sometimes agents work in pairs. Select 2 agents that can pass the mission together. So basically we're looking for, you can see here that not one agent has all of the symbols that we need. We need to come up with a combination of 2 of them so that each one of these are going to be checked off here. So we can pretty quickly deduce we don't have any combat signs. We're not driving in any of these, so it rules a lot of these early ones out. What we're looking for specifically here, though, is QB013, because you can see he's got the disguise, surveillance, and a sneak. So that takes care of this portion here. They don't have to be in any order. We just need to make sure that we're checking those boxes appropriately. The other one that you can see here, we need our second disguise, we need a second sneak, and we need a tech, which is all the way over on the far right here with SE029. So we can go ahead, plug them in, run the simulation. You can see, check, check, coming up all green here. And we are all good with those 2. So the simulation's complete. We have our access card upgraded to level 2 now, which is ultimately what we want. Now we need to take that over here near the projector, open up this laptop, and we can go ahead and insert our key card to keep progressing through this level. So we have satellite footage analysis test. So the vehicle of interest, we're looking specifically for the supply truck, which looks to be a shorter one here. Obviously, it doesn't have like the oil, gas, whatever. It doesn't have the little ports on top. And this one's a little longer here. So this specifically is the one that we're looking for, just a short little supply truck. And we're trying to figure out how many of the vehicles are in each of the hangars by the end of all of this. So starting with the first image here, and we can move our slider along to progress through the puzzle. But you can see that we have a supply truck driving into C. So we can go ahead, just add one here. Use the slider to progress to image number 2. We've got 2 supply trucks driving in from opposite directions here, but both going into B. So we'll go ahead, add 2 there. Move our slider over to the third image, and you can see now you got to pay attention to the exhaust or the tire tracks just to let you know that they're actually both leaving B. One is going into A, so we'll go ahead and add that, take it out of B, and then we will take one out of B here to accommodate the one going into C. We have image number 4 here. All of these are different trucks except for this guy down at the bottom, obviously driving into A. Nobody else is leaving, and none of them are supply trucks anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Slide this over to 5, and you can see that there are 3 trucks here, but none of them are supply trucks, so we're all good to confirm our 202. And we've now passed our satellite footage test. So we have access card level 3, which is just the computer here at the head of the table. And now what we need to do is, because we've acquired the enemy suitcase. We haven't yet, but I'll show you where that is. We have a flight tracker little puzzle here. So just in this room where we completed our William Boyle puzzle, just tucked beside the drawers here in the wall, we have the enemy suitcase. So now we technically do have it secured. There are some travel tickets here, the stickers just on the front of the suitcase, and this is ultimately what we're going to need to use to solve these puzzles here. So just go ahead and pin that, and we need to come up with a logical starting point. So you can see here that there are some of these that we just don't have any information for at all. Either the dates are blurred out or the actual destinations have been removed. So the logical starting point for me was to pick the one that we knew the most from, and that was obviously the earliest. So we have 2 here that are May 27, we have 2 here that are May 28, the other 3 we don't know dates for. So logically I picked the 7 o'clock in the morning one because this is 7 at night. So let's start with the earlier one. We're going to start at HAV and go to Cell. So you can rotate this here. We're going to look for HAV and pick Cell. So you can see now that there we have our HAV and Cell inputs in the terminal here. And now we need to figure out from Cell, where did we go? Did we go Cell to Par, Cell to Q, or is it potentially Cell to Fe? Could be Cell to Fan. I guess it makes logical sense here to figure out where it can actually fly to. So Cell can fly to Par. Obviously we know that. Cell can fly to Q. Cell can fly to Zan. But can Cell fly to Fe? It cannot. So we need to then find what can fly to Fe. Okay. So Q. And if you can see this here, so just following the lines here, so we can kind of reverse engineer this to Q. So we can go Cell to Q, which is just this one here, and then we can assume then that this is Q to Fe. So let's go ahead, we'll pull this around. So fly from Q up to Fe, and now we have Fe to something with an L. Now what are our options here? Because Fe flies to Zam, it flies to land down here, and it flies to Lum. And we don't actually have any of the L's uncovered on here, so we can just have a quick look here. If we fly to land, there's actually nowhere else for it to go. It would fly all the way to Par, but Par isn't actually an ending point unless we flew from Cell on here. And the other one is all the way up to Nor. Okay. Gonna fly from Fe. We'll go to Lum. And now we have the option to fly to Nor. So we're figuring that this is our sticker here. Fly up to Nor. So have to Cell, Cell to Q, Q to Fe, Fe to Lum, and Lum to Nor. We'll go ahead and confirm that. And we have, you can see here that we've got a 6-digit code, but we only have the last 3 digits. Let me just remove this pin here. So the last 3 digits being 741. Okay, so we can't actually input that because we need the first 3 digits. How we get the first 3 digits are to start collecting all of these little miniature model pieces. So there's 3 in this room here. With the actual puzzle, and there are some under here, and there is just this one on the desk. I'm going to just get rid of this, and we can figure this out. So now we are at the agency compound construction phase, and what we're going to need to do with these miniature models, we can see obviously the agency compound present day. We're going to need to kind of get an idea of what this actually looks like. So it says, as seen from the south side, which is basically our perspective on this right now. If we put this agency compound right in the middle, we have a series of trees. So we can go ahead and just set this up for now with the information that we do have. We have the garage in behind this base and the trees. Now I might be missing a piece. I might be. But that's fine. We can figure that out afterwards. Okay, so to start this is obviously phase 1 of 3. Again, the agency compound is just seated right in the middle. This is as seen from the south side. Here we have our directions here. So we can tell, looking at the south side, everything should be as is there. So we've got our trees in front. We have a garage. We've got an extra piece here. Maybe I'll just grab that for now to avoid confusion. But the garage is right in behind the base, and that's how things stand. For the second phase here, there's actually an impact spike just buried in the flower pot over here. So we can come bring this over and just inspect it, and then you're going to want to give it a quick click, and we can see now that this is construction phase 2, but it looks like we're actually on the flip side now. So we were looking at it from the south point of view. Now it's flipped and we have a northern perspective. So everything is going to be in the opposite area here. That must be the piece that I'm missing, is the satellite dish, but we do have this piece here. So we can go ahead and we can add that. Let me just double check that makes sense. Yep. Perfect. And then when we find the satellite, it'll just get tucked right in behind the garage there. So I just need to quickly remember where the actual perfect. So right on this first terminal here is the comms model. And again, we said it was just tucked in right behind the garage there. So we don't have any more information yet. There's no sighting of a pool or like the barracks thing here, the training grounds, on the construction phase 2. So we know that we need one more piece here. I'm just going to get rid of this real quick. The third piece is just actually tucked inside the surveillance mug. So you're going to want to pick it up. And there is a film canister buried in the bottom of the surveillance mug. So you can just go ahead, pick that up. The microfilm, as soon as you click it to open it, it's going to show us that the construction is complete. Now you can see here that the pool is near the front of the agency compound there by the helipad. So we can go ahead and drop that in. But it's on the long side. Okay, so I messed that up here. So that's just right here. So it's on the long side of the H there. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So we have tree, pool, tree. The garage is still in behind. The satellite dish is right in behind that. And then we have our barracks thing there. And now we just have to drop the training grounds. Training grounds isn't seen on any of these images, but you can see just obviously with the last tile that it makes the most sense of it. I mean, there's really only one spot for it to go. As soon as you place that last piece, we will unlock the conference table key. Now, just right on the side here, just tuck that away, and we uncover the last puzzle of the room here. This is a mission called Room Service. The objective is to locate the 4 bombs. So, using these projector slides, we can go ahead and just scoop them off the table. We're going to need to use the projector and those slides to actually navigate and indicate where the bombs are on this floor map here. So you can go ahead and set these up. It'll automatically put them in order, so you don't have to worry about that. But we will need to actually just start loading these slides in. So this is room service number 4. And you can see here that there's a little legend for fire extinguisher, a fuse box, security camera, and a door. Basically, what you're looking for is you're trying to use this map to cross-reference with the imagery on the projector screen here. So you can see, obviously, with the shape of the hallway here, there's almost like a little elbow. So we need a hall that jets out onto the left, and on that left side there should be a fire extinguisher, and on our right side of the wall here will be a security camera. Now that's just this corner right here. You can see these little grids, and I like that they put some indicator on the floor to kind of give you an idea of where things are. But our bomb is just the little white package right in the corner here. Again, using our legend here, our fire extinguisher is here. We have our security camera just right here. Again, just like the picture shows, fire extinguisher, security camera, and then we just have to indicate where the actual bomb is in this hallway. So here's our elbow hallway. just drag and drop. And you want to make sure that the slider, the crosshair ends up or lines up with where the bomb actually is in this frame. So there's our first one for room service number 4. Number 3, we've got the same kind of setup. It'll be a hallway, an elbowed hallway that jets out to the right. But again, you can kind of see here that all we have is a fire extinguisher and the bomb is on the other side of the pattern on the floor. So we can go through. All we're looking for is the hallway shape for an elbow. Where is that now? And that jets out to the right. Okay, so here's a fire extinguisher with nothing else. So you can see that's right here. And then again, for some perspective as well, here's the grid on the floor, which is just an indicator there. And then the hallway that jets out onto the right. So this is the one that we're looking for here. We can drag and drop our second marker right about here to indicate where the bomb is. So you can see there, that's where our bomb is. I will load in the second or third slide now. This one's got a bunch of things going on. It's got a hall running through it in all directions. There's a door, there's a security camera, a fuse box, and a fire extinguisher. So you can see here, there's a couple of those where that actually makes sense. So really what the reference points are that are most important is we know we're not looking for something on like a perimeter or a corner. It's going to be one of these internal ones here just because of how many hallways that are stemming out of this thing. We know here that there is a fire extinguisher directly across from the door, just like the image shows. So here's our door, fire extinguisher. The fuse box is just on the other side of the pattern floor here, just as it is in this image. And then our security camera is across from that on the other wall there. So we can figure that the fuse box, or that our bomb is just on this side of the fuse box right here. And that is the position of bomb number 3. And then for our last one, which is actually projector slide 1, we have our bomb here, a fuse box, and a security camera. And that should be... where are we here? We know it needs to be a perimeter because there's nothing running through it. So where is our fuse box? The bomb, and okay. So here we have, there's nothing running through it. We need this side here, which is right here of the hallway. And then here is the T-shaped hallway where it runs in. Here's our pattern, our fuse box right there, our security camera right there. And then obviously the bomb is just nestled in on the wall near the security camera. So we can go ahead, click and drag that. And now we have the first 3 digits of our exit code. So 623, and then this computer here was giving us our 741. We'll go ahead, 623, 741. And just like that, we complete agency headquarters. Again, it's the first new escape room in the set of Spy paid DLC that Escape Simulator has released. It's been a little while that I've done anything like this, honestly, to be completely transparent. I had to go through and reinstall Escape Simulator, but with the announcement of Escape Simulator 2, I'm personally really excited to kind of hop back into this, and the new DLC was something that I felt like was awesome to pick up and just get a good reacquaintance with the game and kind of how their puzzles work. So hopefully this was able to provide you some insight just in case you got stuck, because in this game you can run out of hints and get completely locked out of the room, essentially, if you can't figure the puzzle out. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of an explanation behind each of the puzzles, why they work the way that they do, and if you were struggling at all, hopefully this gives you a little bit of clarity and the answers on how to solve it. We'll catch you in the next one. If you like what you saw, be sure to give this video a like, drop a comment, and subscribe to Friendly Frenzy Games for many more guides.